Hello and welcome to the Neville Richards Premier League first finals week edition. Matt Milne, Mark Hayes, another extraordinary week.
It was hazy. Spring has sprung, the sun's out, and we had some cracking games on the weekend. And what an upset we did have as well.
We did some high scores, some high tempers, which we might touch on that a little bit later.
Yes, I did hear that, Mark. Yes, very disappointing from one of our leaders of the competition.
But yes, as you mentioned, high shock in one match. The second match we'll talk to. But let's talk about the first match, the qualifying final to see who advances straight to the grand final. It was the Hood Road Hookers and Granny's Corner Goblins. A tight tussle the whole way, Matty.
It was hazy. We had the Hookers actually get over the line 162 to 160. We actually had 9 players in each team, so it was a fairly even contest there. The Hookers were led by Lynn Kirby. She had 38 points. Jill Barker, so the 2 women of the team, led the way for the Hookers with 34. Ian Francis, 31. Kinky King had 30. And then Brian Barrell and Woody, the 29 score counted. While for the Goblins there, we had Pete DeFazio led out strong with 35. Jen Edmondson, 33. Toby Prime and Hoppy had 31 and Robbie Moorcroft had 30. They were the counting scores for those teams. But yeah, only 2 points the difference between them.
I'm told that Jill Barker, who has been a pretty solid performer in the second half of the year, might have missed sort of 5-ish putts.
Oh, did she?
About that length. So,
well, that's lucky that didn't come back to haunt them. But it was actually Jill's birthday on Saturday as well.
Yeah.
So that was a good little birthday present for her with the Hookers getting over the line. But yes, they did reverse the last time they met. They had a 3-point defeat and they've then turned that into a 2-point win. But it was interesting though, Lynn Kirby was the last player in for the Hookers and her 38 points got them over the top of the line. As I said, Jill was out early, first group off. She came in with a well-made 34. And Pete DeFazio, Jen Edmondson and Rob Moorcroft were out early. So they got the Goblins off to a good start. Dale Pollock was probably a disappointment for the Goblins, maybe like his Melbourne Football Club team. Didn't handle the pressure of first week of finals. He failed with 29 and then...
I thought they were a dynasty.
Well, apparently so, but it's not looking that way now. They could go out in straight sets, both teams. But Daniel Hopgood, who's sort of been the leader of the Goblins, he was last player in for the whole contest. Unfortunately, come up 3 points short and with 31, so which led to the Hookers winning. We also had some disappointments as well. For the Hookers, continues to be Ian Party, only come in with 18. And the President only had 25 as well, so that was disappointing from their behalf. While the Goblins, David Milne again disappointed with 22, and Rick Edmondson again 26.
There's some familiar names there, and you've potted them mercilessly, some of them, and they just haven't bounced. They haven't responded.
No, they haven't lifted at all. They've got one more chance to keep their team alive this coming Saturday. But I think the biggest news, which is probably going to be downplayed a little bit now, is that due to the Hookers winning was Ken Hughes. My prediction last week was that he may not play as being too tired after his golf trip along the river. It come to fruition.
Really?
Didn't play. So wow. I think team leaders
didn't come back, or was too
exhausted after his trip? He was back but didn't play. So I suppose leading into a grand final, how will he be received by the Hookers for not turning up when he was needed most in the qualifying final? I think team leaders of Bowman and Sweeney may have to get to the bottom of it and maybe massage a few egos in that team to but that's going to be interesting how it's going to play out over the next 2 weeks.
Ken must have had a pretty good time up there on the river.
He must have, yes. Couldn't make it apparently.
Wow, that's interesting, Ken. Very interesting. Crucial time of the year to.
To miss the only game he has for the year.
Yeah, extraordinary, really. But still, though, he might have had confidence in his team, and it's found it, and away we go. And he's in the grand final. He's fresh, ready to go.
Yeah, true.
Bit of air in the tyres from the river.
Yeah, well, I don't think he drinks that much, so it wouldn't have been through alcohol-induced. But anyway, he didn't play, and we'll find out how the grand final pops in for him.
Indeed. So 162-160 Hookers over the Goblins, befitting a match to set up a grand final, and the loser will now have to play, well, you would have got very, very long odds on this a little while back, but they would have to now play the Pigden Street Pirates after an extraordinary turn of events.
It was hazy. They just made the Peakers walk the plank and sink to the bottom like the Titanic. But anyway, the Pirates got up 176 to the Peakers 172. 9 players versus 10 players. So we had great, how would you say, contributions from all players in their team by turning up. The Peakers, from a scoring perspective, we had Yanni and Chrissy Dodds had 37, Pete O'Neill 35, Lee McMurray had 34 and Julie Milne had 29. That was the scorers for the Peakers, while the Pirates had Juzzy McGrath and Darren Heaton on 32, Mickey McNeil 34, Gary Thompson 37, but the hero was David Newman with 41.
41 points. In one of the last groups, I'm led to believe.
It was. This was an amazing game. The Pirates had their season high score, actually the equal high score for the whole season of any team. And this contest actually was the highest scoring match of all Premier League.
Wow.
So the Peakers have come and they've performed, had the 3rd highest score by any team for the whole season, and they've got rolled.
It's extraordinary. 172, as Matty says, gets the job done 99% of the times.
Yeah.
So it's some good scores there too. You know, as you say, a couple of 37s.
Yeah.
That normally is the backbone of
It is, and what we find with Premier League is because we have players hitting off in different parts of the field, a team can get off to a good start with their morning players, then the afternoon has a bit less pressure. But for this contest here, for the Pirates, we had Mickey McNeil out early with 34, but Yanni and Dodsey were also in the morning and they come in with their 37 for the Peakers. We did have some psychological and intimidatory issues Saturday morning where
is that right?
there was a little bit of manipulation of the timesheet to make it that Yanni Lathouris and Mickey McNeil played in the same group.
What happened in terms of intimidation?
Yeah, well, I think they were trying to put it on Mickey, that he couldn't handle the pressure of playing with Yanni. But Mickey come out with 34 and Yanni 37, but Mickey got the laugh in the end of it. So, Peter...
So now this was all leading towards a grandstand finish, really, wasn't it?
It was. We had the players out early, then the last 2 players on the course left was one on each team, and it was David Newman and from the Pirates and Lee McMurray from the Peakers. Playing together, last group's in. It was set up perfectly where the Peakers had a 3-point lead with these scores to come in. And Newman comes in with a 41. And he knocked over
well played
the perennial trendsetter and superstar of the competition, Lee McMurray.
Well, he's been rock solid, early in the competition particularly. So I assume that, he was, pretty steady and solid the whole way around.
Well, Lee was quite, he had 34 points. So it wasn't as if he played bad. I was getting some text messages on the way around about the bloke he's playing with. He's off 15 and he's 4 over after 13, and Lee was going to decapitate this Pirate, and he was going to chop off his leg and give him a one-legged body and stuff like that. But Leroy he couldn't believe it. David just kept performing and there was nothing better.
I thought for sure you were going to say a Jolly Roger.
Well, that was probably after the 18th. But the Peaker, McMurray, couldn't bridge the gap, and on the 16th hole,
don't tell me,
there was a bit of a surrender, I think.
Well, he ran the white flag up the pole. You're kidding.
He ran the white flag. We had a little issue. We had a broken club, and I think that was the time the flag went up. But no, Lee didn't give up though. He made a birdie on 17 to try and bridge the gap and parred the last, but it didn't matter. David Newman, the hero, he took down the Peakers, and they've just sunk to the bottom. Peakers season reminds me a bit like Carlton. Roller coaster, disappointment, June premiers out in August, September.
Yeah.
So it was a season of what ifs, I think.
Do we know if we got to the bottom of what happened with that little 9-iron?
Well, yes. I'm not sure whether it was done under a tree, but he did come with a bit of a cut on his hand as well. So not sure if it was anger-induced. Knowing Lee, it probably was anger-induced, but I have been told I need to get a new shaft and repaired by Saturday. Oh, no, he's not playing. Sorry, I don't need to worry. There's no rush.
There's no shot like a cheap shot, I know that.
Yeah, but on a sidelight, Hazy, we did have a player out there on Saturday who was in a team that didn't make the finals. And to be honest, they were at the bottom of the ladder. So this probably doesn't surprise a lot, but one of their players from the Tornadoes made a 16 on the 15th hole on Saturday.
So must have put it in the water 3, 4, 5 times maybe.
No balls in the water.
What?
No balls. But did have an Adolf, which is 8 in a bunker.
Oh, no.
We won't mention the player, but gee, Sean Ward was really disappointed with it.
That sounds like the whole Third Reich, not just Adolf.
Yeah, so well done, Wardy. Good to see you kept going and you had the perseverance.
Yeah, no, it's encouraging. All clubs are intact, so he's one ahead of lead.
Yeah, well Lee's $100 down already. So, but Wardy didn't cost himself anything. Just a bit of pride.
Any chance Fireball was involved?
Yeah, well, they were a little seedy after the Carnival of Golf Friday event that they won. And this bloke who's made us 16 on the 15th hole, he had 46 points as an individual in the Jensums game on Friday. So I'm not sure what happened between Friday afternoon and Saturday morning, but there was something brutal anyway.
How was it that TAB? All right, let's have a quick look at the official scores. Oh, Matty, which brings us to the preliminary final. 2 matches to go. The winner of this next one plays the Hood Road Hookers in the grand final. So it's an absolute promoter's dream.
It is.
We've got the Pigden Street Pirates and the Granny's Corner Goblins.
Yes, it's the preliminary final. All chips are in, and let's find out what's going to happen. So during the regular season, the Goblins won both.
Well, they were running hot.
Yes, round 3 they knocked over the Pirates 159 to 151, and then in round 10 they gave them a bit of a spanking at 167 to 155. So they have been comprehensive wins here. In the regular season games, the Pirates had Pete Solahub and Mickey McNeil's score count both times, while the Goblins had their regular contributors of Daniel Hopgood, Gary Haywood and Flea Pollock score both times for them. Although the Goblins appear to have the advantage in recent history, it's important to note that recent form could come into this. Both teams in their last 5 contests have had 3 wins, 1 loss and a draw. The Goblins have scored 789 points with an average of 158 per contest. They have been the highest scoring team for the season.
Throughout, yep.
Pirates in their last 5 have scored 822 points with an average of 164.
That's big.
So that will be interesting to see if they're just peaking at the right time there for the Pirates with their scoring.
Well, if things had gone a different way 3 or 4 weeks ago, they could easily have missed the finals by even a game and a half.
Yeah, well, it could have been. Like, I was looking back through past results, and I think the Pirates lost to the Tornadoes in 1 week, which they could have really cemented their place in the 4, but they had to do it the hard way. So maybe those hard final games into it's actually probably put them in good stead.
And the captain's armband, do you think it's been settled upon now?
No, there's too many egos in the team of McNeil and Solahub. They don't want to give it up.
Heaton?
Heaton I think's just dropped right away.
He's
happy just to be a soldier now. He doesn't want to be the lieutenant.
Interesting.
Yeah, but I think after Saturday night, friendships and marriages could be over.
Really?
I think good friends, Jen Edmondson, Joy Francis, opposition teams going head to head. Mickey McNeil, Daniel Hopgood play together most Saturdays, going head to head. Flea Pollock, Yvette Pollock, husband and wife, opposition teams, head to head. And it could even be the end of the Edmondson's marriage. Rick and Jen are on the same team, and if Rick doesn't pull out his finger, she might divorce him. Who knows? Rick's been so disappointing for their team, and Jen's starting to get a bit frustrated with it.
You know, I sense that. I see Quantum the dog walking Rick around the perimeter of the course. It's not the other way around.
Yeah, well,
he's a shadow of his former self.
He is. Well, maybe instead of walking the dog, you should get on the range and hit some balls or have some putting or do something there. But interestingly, though, Mickey McNeil, the Undertaker now.
The Undertaker?
Yes. Wins and takes everyone out in the big matches. If you're a WWE fan, Undertaker, WrestleMania's never lost. Mickey McNeil, last 2 weeks, best mate Ando Wooden from the Warriors knocked out their finals chances. Saturday, smashed Yanni and the Peakers out of the event. This week, Daniel Hopgood, 3 weeks in a row, can he do it?
WrestleMania 3?
Well, who knows? Could be on.
The Undertaker. Ooh, that's a big call. I know that you're probably a pretty big fan of the Undertaker style.
Well, it is. Mickey's just keeps lifting.
Yeah.
So
No, that's impressive. So, do you want to get down to predictions? I mean, this has become a hot topic in the last couple of weeks.
it has been like both teams are really strong with their regular contributors, and I think it's going to come down to, I suppose, the players who are a little inconsistent in their game. They can come up with some good ones, but they can put in some shockers as well. So I think if we talk about it from that perspective, the Goblins will need a massive form reversal from Marion Keskinen, David Milne and Rick Edmondson, while the Pirates will need Johnny Powell, Joy Francis, Yvette Pollock and Johnny Crossett to improve on their performance. Other big question is, will David Newman, can he replicate 41 points again?
He was on fire throughout the Carnival of Golf, even extending to raffles. He was untouchable.
Yes,
so.
he did. So can he continue that on for another week? That will be the big question. Timesheet wise, Goblins have all 10 on the sheet.
Already.
Mr. Haywood is back, one of their strong scorers. The Pirates at this stage only have 7. Saying that, Darren Heaton is not down again. Comes in late, puts his name in late, maybe has a look to see if there's a opposition player there and joins their group to add a little bit of pressure to them. So, but I believe Darren will be here.
I didn't realise this intimidatory tactic was so prevalent.
Yeah, that is. That's the Pirates are probably the kings of it too.
Really? Mind games. All right, come on. Hit me with your best shot.
All right. Well, after last week's effort, I'm obviously the kiss of death because Hazy got them both right and I was wrong, so I know nothing. But if we have a score predictor as an administrator in Premier League, and so far this season it's running at 65%, where it would predict the scores and the winning team. Last week's semi-final, it predicted the Hookers to win by 3, and they won by 2. It predicted the Pirates to win by 6, and they won by 4. Predictor this week is saying the Goblins will win 166 to 162. Sorry, the Pirates will win. Yes, Pirates will win. I'm going to go the Goblins.
Hey, really?
Yep, they can't put in 2 bad showings in a row. They haven't lost 2 in a row all season. I think they'll be back on board.
Well, I'm going to stick with the Pirates. I sensed their sort of passion about 5 weeks ago. Jumped on board. I'm riding them home. I think they can get the job done. So from the sort of Bulldogs 2016 style, I think they can come from the boondocks and get the job done into a grand final.
Yeah, well, it won't surprise me. They've surprised towards the end of the season. It looked like they were dead and buried and they got themselves over the line. So, yeah, maybe it is that leadership from Mickey McNeil that's doing it. Geez, I'm putting pressure on Mickey this week, aren't I?
You are. You are. Well, I'll be interested to see how Peter Solhub reacts to your... basically, you putting the captain's armband on Mickey.
Yeah.
The Undertaker.
Well, Pete's not very happy, but Peter Solhub actually wants to be on the video. If the Pirates win this week, well, we are going to get a representative from each winning or each team in the final to come into our video and talk up the prospects of their team next week.
So do you think we should make that, Peter?
No, just to annoy him even more. We'll get someone else.
All right, well, so the grand final night is obviously looming. Good luck to both the preliminary final teams to get into that big prestigious event. On the aftermath of that, of course, is the presentation night on the evening of the grand final. Matty, we're up to 75 people who are booked now, including a few guests. So we're thrilled to have as many non-players as we already have, about roughly 15 or so.
Yep.
Hopefully we can trend up towards 100 people. But as we've requested a few times, if you're not going to be able to come as a player, let Matty know so that he can make more guest spots available, because they, strangely enough, are very popular.
Yes, even people who haven't been a participant in Premier League they've jumped on board and really gotten to enjoy the event, even though they're not playing, and they've already requested interest in playing next year. So they don't want to miss out next year. So yeah, it's going to be a great night. A couple of idiots will probably be hosting the night. We'll have the Drayton medalist announced and presented with their award, and also our all Portarlington team, and a few other things will be happening on the night. So it should be great. If you are able to come, just a reminder, your entry fee got you your ticket to the event. So if you are a player, You don't have to pay for a ticket, and if you want to bring your partner along, it's $50 for them to attend, and yeah, it should be a cracking evening.
Fun night. I know there's plenty of surprises in store, so guarantee you a giggle through the night. That's no doubt about that. Well, that's it. That's our preliminary final preview. We've only got 2 of these to go, Matty.
It is. Yeah, I don't know what I'll do on a Monday morning now. I can't have a froth on a Monday morning. And yeah, no, it's been great. It's been good going back over the season and the previous rounds and seeing who's been performing. And yeah, it's really created a lot of interest and buzz around the club.
It has. So thanks to you for all your stats and info and the kiss of death. I'm on the Pirates. You're on the Goblins. Let's see how the preliminary final goes.
Thanks, AZ. I'm the Goblins.